project that I've wanted to put over here pretty much since the start of the series, and I just haven't been able to do it. Welcome back, everyone, to Create Dinosaurs, episode 19. Well, yeah, I would like to make a start on what is probably going to be the biggest project in our park. Don't quote me on that, there might be bigger ones. But, like, from what I can remember, I'm pretty sure this is the biggest project. And yeah, as I've said, like, it's an idea that I've had pretty much since starting the series and everything. Like, ever since we picked out this location, I've always kind of been looking over there and going, I know what I want to put there. And the project which I want to build over there is an aviary. That is right, I finally want to get a start on some flying dinosaurs, and I've only just realized, why have these not decayed? Like, specifically like that. But yeah, that is right. I would like to get some flying dinosaurs at some point. Now, the thing is, I'm not entirely sure if we've actually got many flying things. Like, let's see. We've got this thing, like a Confucianosaurus or something, but this thing is tiny. It's like half a block. So that one's not going to be the most impressive and everything. As for other things, I don't see anything with wings. Let's see. What have we also got in, like, any of here? Those are all fish, and of course up here there's a lot of flying stuff, but a lot of this is insects, so you know, we're not going to be able to get the dinosaurs anytime soon, probably. But that's not the goal for this episode. My goal for this episode is to make the farms which we are going to need in order to then make this project. Now, that might sound a little bit confusing, but as I said, so I want to do an aviary, and as a lot of you guys know, we're taking a lot of inspiration from Jurassic World, and personally, one of my favorite bits about Jurassic World is just the massive dome. Like, it's awesome. So I want to build a massive dome as well, out of glass. And that's a lot of glass. Because let's get some size references over here. So this big circle here, this is 26 blocks out in each direction, I think. And whilst it's kind of okay, it's not exactly that big. Then I believe we have the Mosasaurus enclosure over here. And this sort of circular shape, I think this is 48 blocks out in each direction. And that's a bit closer to what we're probably going to go with. And, you know, just using this to get a quick reference, what do I need? 101? Yeah, I think this is saying 26,000 blocks. Now, bearing in mind, of course, that's a full sphere. We're doing half a sphere and everything because we're making a dome, but, like, that's still a lot of glass. So, yeah, let's get to work gathering some of that. Now, as for where I'm going to put this farm, I think same thing as always. We're kind of gonna have it going under this path here and everything. So we've got all of these farms, and one of these is actually producing sand. So it's like we've got this farm right here, which is producing a bunch of sand for us, and occasionally I will take some of that sand and chuck it into this to get glass, but like that's slow. That's not going very well. We need to up our speed drastically, especially since we need to actually dedicate the entire farm to just glass. Now, as for the size of this thing, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, like 10 blocks might be an easy measurement to do. So that's 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be this sort of width across. And by the way, I am talking about having like each individual block as its own glass producing bit. So yeah, that would be 10 things all producing glass. Do I think that would be enough is the question. I feel like probably yeah. So yeah, it's gonna take up an area in this sort of space here and everything. And obviously it can't be at this height because yeah, we need it to fit under the road. So it does mean I'm going to need to dig down a massive hole and stuff. And I'll probably make it so that the output is actually over there, because I feel like that's easier to reach than trying to make a path around here. All right, let's tackle our biggest issue first. How do we make a glass farm? So, of course, we do kind of have one of them down here and everything. We've got this cobblestone farm. Why are you stopped? So, yeah, we've got this cobblestone farm here. And if you remember, basically, we're taking one of the outputs from it, turning it into gravel with a millstone, then, of course, crushing the gravel into sand with the crushers. And then, yeah, sometimes I will go and take some of this sand and I'll just chuck it down onto this conveyor belt here. So, I just kind of need to replicate that process a little bit and then just automate the blast casting part of it. The only issue is, if I want to do this in the 10 block wide space with 10 farms, I need this to be 1 block wide. That's where the issue is going to come in. But I feel like I can do this. So right, let's see. We are going to need some glass to have all of the liquids stored behind, just because I like them being visible. Do we have any millstones left over? We do not appear to. However, we do have some drills and some shafts that will be useful. Okay, there's a millstone in here. A fan is going to be needed later on. We're going to need some cog wheels, and a sight funnel is always useful, and some chutes. There we go. Okay, so I think we've got most of the stuff we need. There's just one essential part that we're missing, and it's those. I need to get a crushing wheel, and the inconvenient thing about that is I have actually decommissioned my crafting thing, so I don't know if I have any left over right now. Right, now, what is the recipe for these things again? Oh my god. Right, that goes there. These 4 things go here. And then a whole bunch of andesite alloy. Right, and this should craft into a couple of crushing wheels. Only 2. Bearing in mind we need 20. This is quite expensive. But right, okay, so with our crafting thing fixed and with some nice new crushing wheels, how do we make a 1 block wide glass bar? So I'm going to experiment with it just against this wall because it's a bit easier to plan everything out here. All right, so I'm going to make the assumption that there's a conveyor belt coming along here and like our output chest is over here. I haven't got any of that stuff with me right now, so we're gonna pretend that it's there. Working in reverse, we are going to need a fan somewhere with some lava, so I guess there. Actually, that needs to move back 1 block. So you would have a fan here, some lava here, and then a transparent block of some sort. I think I normally use iron bars. Then you need a chute to drop down the sand onto this bottom conveyor belt. Of course, the sand coming through that chute is going to be from these crushing wheels here. The crushing wheels are going to be taking an input of gravel from this millstone here. And this millstone is getting its supply of cobblestone from a cobblestone farm that's getting a drill here. So if I was going to actually put that farm together, then there will be lava there and a bit of water flowing into it from here. So if I am correct, then that should turn into stone. There we go. So then, assuming that that does all get powered. Now, obviously, it's going to need to take power from the side, but the idea of this being 1 block wide is you can actually just send power through this thing. So it's like, obviously, these crushing wheels here, because they actually still have a shaft coming off of it, if I just go and put a shaft out on the other side, it's also able to power more. So yeah, in theory, you could take this sort of plan here and just replicate that 10 times or as many times as you want off into the distance. And as long as you have enough kinetic energy coming into it at one point, you should just be able to send all of the power through. Because even with the drills here and stuff, you just stack a bunch of cogs going off in that direction. Same with the fan. So right, that's a single block wide glass farm. Kind of. Obviously, missing some of the essential parts, like, you know, a conveyor belt or lava, because we do need to have some lava here to smelt the glass and everything, but I think that should be enough to go off of. So yeah, really, this farm doesn't need to be that deep either. Like, it quite literally only needs to come out to maybe around here or something, and then you can just have an andesite funnel and a chest. This is concerningly easy. I don't know, I don't trust it. I feel like something's going to go wrong. But right, so with that at least planned out, I am going to dig out this hole, because now I know how much space it's going to need and everything. Like, it is quite literally 1 block, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10. So yeah, it's just a 10 by 10 hole, honestly. Right, let's dig this out. Okay, so I finished digging out the hole, and it's actually a little bit bigger than I expected, just because I seem to have forgotten that I don't think you can take an output from a millstone with a chute like that. I'm pretty sure to get an output from the millstone, you need to have an andesite funnel on it, a bit like I do over here, yeah. So it's not exactly a big change, it just means, you know, like pushing the whole sort of stone system back a bit. Now, the other thing that I've gone and done, I have gone and made all of the crushing wheels and the drills and and everything like that we're going to need. Obviously, like, one less, because we've got one built right here. And that was really expensive. That took a whole lot of andesite alloy, but hopefully it's worth it, because this farm should just work permanently. And because of the massive amount of glass that we're going to need, I'm actually going to give this farm a lot more storage than any of the others. You know, like, all of the farms down here and everything have a single barrel output or something, maybe two, but, like, this isn't automatic. I have to move stuff manually from here into here. Whereas with this one, I think just because of the absolutely massive amount of glass that we're going to need, I'm going to give this, like, several rows of chests. But anyway, so it is now time for me to build this, and it's a bit weird because I kind of got to build this in reverse order in a way. It's really difficult to kind of fit it into the space if I start at the wrong end. Because also, the other thing that I need to consider is I need to give this room for all of the cogs and stuff to power it all around the back and everything. So I can't just build it flat against the back wall, because, you know, then I'm not going to have space for all the cogs and everything. So yeah, it's a little bit cramped, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be too much of a concern. So yeah, like, the drill is going to go on top of that glass block there, facing this way. Yep, there we go. Except actually, this is too high up. I hate building farms sometimes. All right, so here's where all of the stone is produced. The drills will go and mine all of that. The millstones will go and connect underneath. All of these andesite funnels need to come off of them. Then the chutes go below those. Then it's all of the crushing wheels. This is going to take a whole lot of energy. Like, I am dreading the number of water wheels needed for this, but it does look really cool. I don't know why. I love that aesthetic. All right, then we need all of the chutes coming out of the bottom of the crushers. We have shafts coming along here to put all of the conveyor belts on them. All right, all of the fans need to go across here. This looks like an evil machine. This doesn't just look like something that should be making me glass. Like, what is this? All right, all the chests go here, and with the hoppers, of course. Finally go and add in the water up here. Then the lava needs to go on top. All right, so all I actually need to do now is just hook all of this up with, like, the cogs and everything to make it all work. But the thing is, this is going to be a really long process, because, you know, certain things need to spin in specific directions. It's like the crushing wheels have to go opposite each other so that they grind in the middle. The drills don't matter, although the fans do matter, because if the fans are spinning the wrong way, then they're going to be pulling the lava inward. Obviously, all the conveyor belts need to spin that way and stuff. There's a whole bunch of directional stuff here, and also some of it is going to be really stress intensive. So yeah, this is going to require a whole bunch of trial and error, and I'm not going to put you guys through that. So yeah, I'll see you when it's done in like 3 years maybe. And finally, it is done. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this actually took much less, like, energy than I thought it would. Like, I don't know, there's 10 crushing wheels here, and somehow this is powered by only 5 water wheels. Now, admittedly, they're large water wheels. But yeah, just look at it. Like, it's working. It's all working perfectly and everything. Why is that not stopping? Oh, right, yeah, of course, sometimes you get multiple items. So that's actually something interesting as well. It's kind of acting as a bit of a brick farm or something, because, like, it occasionally spits out clay and flint. But yeah, it's really nice. Like, it's just turning into a bunch of useful resources. Now, I might get something that goes and gets rid of all of the flint and stuff, because it's an excess material. It's annoying. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of chests here. In fact, hold on. So it's a stack in each item slot, 9 columns, 6 row. There is space for 34,000 items in the chests alone. Like, that's ignoring the fact that you get 5 extra slots in each hopper as well. So yeah, this should definitely be able to get us enough glass by the end of it. But yeah, so that's our glass farm and everything. I think the final thing that I really need to do is just go and connect this up to, like, a pathway somewhere, because yeah, I did end up putting all of the chests on this side, so I just need to link up a little way for me to get to the chests around here and everything, I think, just to make it a bit easier. But other than that, the actual farm is done, and honestly, it's working quite well. Like, we're watching it all go through right now. Sometimes the clay doesn't get smelted, which is weird. So maybe I need to speed up the fans just so that their range is extended, but other than that, it seems fine. If I just go and put that in there, that should fix it. But there we go. So hopefully with a bit of a longer range on all of the fire and stuff, yeah, it's able to smelt stuff at a longer distance. So hopefully that means that, like, anything that can be smelted does get smelted. And I think anything that can't just gets burnt eventually. But yeah, so there we go. The farm is done. All I need to do now is just connect it up, which just requires some digging. And because it's all underground and, like, it's a farming area. I'm not gonna make all of this look nice because there's really no point. It's just a resource collection point. If it was above the surface, yeah, I would make it look nice, but there's no need here. So yeah, let's just go and connect this up quickly. And there we go. We've got a connection to our glass farm. Yeah, it turns out that conveniently the farm ends up at the exact same height as the ground around here, connected to the rest of the farm. So I just put a hallway. And yeah, it's definitely working quite well and stuff. I do need to clear out some of the resources which made it through, like, in any times where the smelting was deactivated or anything like that. Because yeah, of course, like, any time where the smelting's been disabled, then other resources have just been able to get through on the conveyor belts and stuff. So it's caused a few backup problems, but like, it's fine. Everything's fixable. We just need to get rid of all the junk. But there we go. That is it. We now have a fully functioning glass farm, which is hopefully going to get us all of the glass we need. I still don't know the exact number because, of course, like, I showed you guys the sphere earlier and the rough estimate of its size and everything, but that doesn't take into account all of the other stuff. It's like, you know, we've got a regular terrain over here. We've got trees which might end up getting in the way or something. Like, there's a whole bunch of factors which are going to affect how much glass is used. So really, we're just going for a massive amount of glass. Also, I'm really sorry, Ant, but I do need to get rid of you guys. On a side note, how's our Anteater doing? You doing good, buddy? I love you. You're so cute. But yeah, I'm excited now because that's just going to be running in the background constantly. Like, every single episode I record, that's going to be going. And hopefully, at some point, it's eventually going to reach enough glass. And then we get to build an aviary. So yeah, if you're excited to see that, then stick around. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes.